Hey, what's going on guys? It's Moto. In today's video, we're going to be checking out the Tusk foot pegs for the Honda XR150L. So the Honda XR150L has some pretty basic foot pegs. These are the stock foot pegs. They do have a rubber insert, so that is a benefit, but they're very skinny and they're kind of short. So unfortunately, that does create some pressure points when riding, especially when standing up. So I went ahead and picked up these foot pegs from Tusk. They're the Billet Race Foot pegs. They come with the spring and they look like they're very good quality. They're definitely a lot larger than the stock foot pegs. So we're gonna put them on the bike and hope that they perform a little bit better. And just a couple tools that I gathered for this quick project. We have some channel locks, some needle nose pliers. I have a hammer just in case the pin is a little bit difficult to remove. I also have this if I need to hit the pin out. I have some extra cotter pins here, some gloves, and the only reason I have the gloves, these aren't that dirty, this bike's pretty clean, but I am going to be putting on some grease. Any grease works. This happens to be some marine grease I had from a boat, but if you have like the red and tacky, I think that should be fine. So the first step is to remove this cotter pin. So with this cotter pin removed, this washer just fell off, but it does go right there for when you reassemble it. Now I'm gonna take my hammer and I'm gonna tap this pin right here just to remove it. And be careful, this is under some tension with the spring that's in there. So you might wanna put your hand over it so it doesn't go flying. And this is where that T-handle Allen key comes into play. I'm just gonna give it a couple taps and it should release that pin. So that pin just fell out. I'm gonna take this and it all comes out just like that. So here is the Tusk foot peg. It's pretty light. It's definitely well constructed. It does come with this spring and it'll sit in with the spring like that. This spring will go over the black part of your bike and it'll hold itself in place just like that. And before I do that, I am gonna put a little bit of grease just where the metal contacts the metal, and hopefully that'll make it last a little bit longer and it'll function properly. So with that greased up, I'm gonna take it and put it into place. I'm gonna line up the holes and I'm gonna drop the pin in, and you can also put some grease on this pin. I put it in the hole so it should grease this up, and make sure the pin goes from the top and just line up that hole and push it into place. Now I'm gonna take my washer and put it back over the pin, and I'm gonna take my cotter pin and feed it through the existing hole on that pin. With the cotter pin in place, I'm gonna go ahead and bend the two tips of the cotter pin. And this pin is a little bit on the smaller side. This is the only size I had that would fit. But as you can tell, it works fine. It's gonna keep that pin from rattling out. And you can go ahead and even pinch this a little bit more if you'd like. So with everything reassembled, as you can tell, it's gonna spring back into place if it does get kicked up by a rock or something hits it. And as you can tell, it looks great and it's functioning properly. And for the right-hand side of the bike, we're gonna simply repeat that process. All right guys, well that is the install. It literally took me 5 minutes. Once again, I'm just checking to make sure that this springs back into place. And I think these are gonna be a huge upgrade, so let's hit the road and try them out. All right guys, we are back on the XR. These foot pegs are substantially better than what was on there. I don't feel that like pressure that I was feeling before, especially when standing up. They feel a lot better. They're much wider. I feel planted and my feet are not gonna be slipping off that rubber insert. All right, guys, so there you have it. The Tusk foot pegs made a pretty big difference. I know it's a small, simple modification. It's easy to do. But that being said, I definitely think it should be one of the first ones on the agenda, especially for this bike. If you're planning on off-roading at all, they just allow your feet to feel a lot more planted. You're not going to be slipping off of these, and there's no more pressure points. I'll leave a link in the description for the Tusk foot pegs. There's also, I think, probably a little bit cheaper ones that you can find on Amazon. So if I find any of those, I'll make sure to link them down below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy your day, and always remember to ride safe.